The National Universities Commission (NUC) has conducted an assessment of the Student Industrial Work Experience Scheme (SIWES) program at Northeastern University, Gombe. The assessment focused on the university's human, material, and institutional readiness for the effective operation of its SIWES Directorate.
As we all know, one of the responsibilities of the National Universities Commission is to ensure that all the universities in Nigeria has established a SIWES Directorate. After the establishment of the Directorate, now is the responsibility of the Commission to approve the placement list to the Industrial Training Fund. So we are here at the Northeastern University, Gombe, to assess the human, material, and the institutional readiness for the effectiveness of the SIWES Directorate. So we have gone around, we have checked all the available files, and here is the brief of our exercise. This is the instrument that guides our exercise. So the instrument has been divided into 4 components. Number 1 component is the general information. Number 1, the Senate extract. There is evidence of Senate extract and approval was presented and verified. Evidence of approval. The approved courses were presented and they were accompanied with the approval letters from the National Universities Commission. Duration of the program existence. There are programs like Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Science, nursing that were approved in 2023. Well, architecture, building, quantity surveying, and industrial chemistry, computer science were approved in 2022. That's 4 years back. Evidence of application for inclusion. The evidence of formal application by the school for the inclusion into SIWES program were presented and verified. Dedicated building for SIWES office. The university has a dedicated 400-seater auditorium, which was found to be well equipped with sound system, projector, furniture, and cooling system. Qualification of the SIWES Director. The Director of the SIWES Directorate is a professor of plant science. He is qualified and possesses the necessary industrial experience. Then tenure of the SIWES Director/Coordinator. The tenure of the Director is 2 years and is renewable for another 2 years. Proximity of ITF office. The nearest ITF zonal office is within the same town where the university is domiciled. The staffing. The SIWES Directorate has a total of 7 staff and is headed by a director.
The NUC team reviewed the university's administrative structures, staffing, facilities, information technology infrastructure, student records, industrial placement arrangements, and financial systems. The assessment verified evidence of Senate approval and relevant regulatory documentation. The team also confirmed that the SIWES Directorate has 7 staff members and is headed by a qualified director. The university was also found to have dedicated ICT facilities, including computers, printers, scanners, and internet connectivity, with Starlink serving as a backup. Another major finding was evidence of partnerships with 242 industries for the placement of students under the SIWES program. The team also confirmed that students are monitored and supervised during their industrial attachment. Responding to the assessment, founder and pro-chancellor described SIWES as central to the university's vision of producing graduates who can translate theoretical knowledge into practical professional skills. The pro-chancellor also linked SIWES with the university's broader focus on entrepreneurship, practical skills, research, and community development.
The NUC team for the assessment of visit on our Student Industrial Works Experience Scheme program. The Vice Chancellor, Northeastern University, Gombe, Professor Yusuf Amudeyaya, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Associate Professor Sani Isiaka, the Registrar Hajia Hawa, the rest of our members of staff, A very good afternoon. We are very happy to receive you today because SIWES is central, to our vision in this university. I have always said that this is a 21st century university, a digital university, a university that does not compromise on anything. We believe that if you are going to do something, you have to do it and do it correctly. We are not a university that has come to make money, to make a difference in our society, to fertilize our environment, and to give an example of what a university should be so that others will copy from us. We are a flagship university. So all the statements you have made are confirming this thing that I am saying now. And we are very happy that all the things you have said are confirming that we are on track. Industrial work experience scheme put the students on the right trajectory of becoming professionals that they should be after graduation, so that they can bring what they have learned in theory to practice, and they can even stand on their feet. That is why you saw our entrepreneurship section too. The skills acquisition section, we are doing it in a very robust way. And we are not only teaching students, we are also using it to fabricate our own needs, because we are trying to be a self-reliant university. So we thank you very much for this reinforcement you have given us. And this has strengthened us, and it has also given us a lot of confidence, and certainly we are going to do more. For the evidence of dedicated account that you mentioned, yes, I don't think we have received any money from SIWES, have we?
No, it's after.
So all the things we are doing on SIWES, we have been funding from our own money, from our own accounts. And our policy is to have one dedicated revenue account and one dedicated operational account for robust and easy accounting. We don't want to have accounts scattered all over. And there would now be a problem of accountability. But since it is the policy of SIWES to do that, we are going to open an account for that. Since it is their policy, we are dedicated to complying with all regulatory requirements. Whatever a regulatory body says we should do, we'll do. Because it doesn't cost us anything to do that. It is just a matter of the books and the reconciliations, which we'll continue to do. Inshallah, we are going to do that. And for the bookshelves, I think all you need to do is to go to the store and yes, once they request, the shelves are in the store.
I think he has fixed them now. We call it to go and fix them.
Just make a request.
Just a request.
Yeah. So for the ICT personnel, we'll look at it. But all our staff are ICT personnel. I'm telling you that no directorate requires any ICT personnel to operate. They use their computers, we work online. You also said that we have 2 sources of internet.
Yes.
So in our own thinking, the kind of university we are doing, we have walked past the level of having somebody sitting down and holding our staff to ransom, saying that he will be the only person that will operate. This is something that is archaic, But if it is a requirement from you, we'll comply. We'll provide an ICT personnel. An accountant, we have a central accounting system. So even if you have an account, this account will be controlled by the Badari department. And maybe a personnel will be dedicated to handling SIWES issues. So that one is not a problem. So, and this is a growing university. We are in our 4th year. And we are going to do our first convocation this year. So whatever that is required to make our system robust and the best, We are ready to do it. We will waste no time in doing that. And for the commercialization of our entrepreneurship department, this is something that is in view. But our priority now is to see that we fertilize our environment. You know, we give free soft skills to people in the environment, in the villages around the university. You know, we have a lot of programs that are coming up. You know, when they come from the entrepreneurship section or from any section of the university that is specialized in certain areas like cosmetology, you know, they brought a proposal and they made a presentation to me. We are about to start it. But when we went into the market and did our, you know, sustainability research, we discovered that it cannot be sustained because it cannot compete with things that are in the market. You know, so whatever we do, we make sure that we do it with a sustainability component and a monitoring and evaluation component. We follow up on the people. We give us startup kits free because we want to help our people. Maybe one day we'll start using it commercially, but people here, you know, ability to pay is very low. You know, the system is just being recalibrated from the challenges it faced in the past years. You know, the region itself, the zone, the whole zone. So we are trying to see how we can help. You know, under the Northeastern University Community Development Initiative, we subsidize these things. You know, employ 1 or 2 or 3 people, you know, to come and acquire skills in welding. We have been doing that. You know, give them stipends so that they will be able to come. You know, so that they will learn these skills from us. And by the time we are convinced that they can operate on their own, we give them startup kits. You know, we are doing these things, and maybe one day it will be possible to do it at a commercial level. But we pray that God will give us the ability to do it free throughout without charging anything. You know? And we have so many other things we are doing. We have the Center for African Medicinal Plants Research, where we interface with the traditional medicine practitioners. You know, we look at their herbs. We have the finest machines you can imagine that you can never get in one single laboratory in this country. You know, we have HPLC, LCMS, and so many very big machines that are meant for natural products chemistry. You know, we look at these herbs, extract the compounds, test them on microbes to see whether they are efficacious in the treatment of the diseases they are claiming to be treating. You know, pass through so many ethical processes and make even a single declaration that this herb is not useful, don't use it. Or instead of using 3, 4 herbs, you can use only this one. Because our people, most of them are very poor in the rural areas, they rely on herbs for treatment. They cannot afford orthodox drugs. We do all these things, and it is all related to entrepreneurship, and it is all embedded in the spirit of SIWES. You know? So it is a comprehensive thing we are doing, so that by the time our students are produced from this university, we will all be proud of them. The stamp of SIWES will not only be on their face, but also in their character. You know? So this, we assure you, we are going to continue to do. And particularly because of this, our commitment, any window you see in which you will advise us that we can improve what we are doing, or that our people can benefit from what we are doing, please do not hesitate to guide us. I think these are about all the things we have said. I wish to thank you very much for commending us for what we have been doing objectively.
The assessment is expected to further strengthen the university's SIWES structure and enhance opportunities for students to gain practical experience in their respective fields. The exercise is part of the National Universities Commission's continuing efforts to strengthen the implementation of SIWES across Nigerian universities.